I was halfway through reheating last night's soup when I heard the knock, soft, hesitant, but sharp enough to slice through the quiet of my apartment. I wasn't expecting anyone. A neighbor, maybe. A package. Something ordinary. But when I opened the door, all the ordinary drained out of the world. It was my twin sister, Mara. Her face, usually the first place light liked to land, was swollen. Dark bruises bloomed across her cheekbone and jaw like shadows trying to claim her. She didn't say a word. She didn't have to. I stepped aside, and she walked in with the kind of silence that only comes from someone who hasn't felt safe in a long time. She sat on my couch, our couch, the one we'd once shared as kids, whispering secrets past bedtime. Her fingers kept pulling at the hem of her sleeve. I knew that gesture. It meant the hurt was deeper than anything I could see, and right then, something old and familiar rose inside me, a quiet promise I'd made years ago. Long before life got complicated, no one breaks her. Not while I'm here. Growing up as twins means you learn to read each other before you learn to read the world. We shared birthdays, clothes, even the same private sadness when mom and dad drifted apart. Remembered one afternoon from when we were 8, Mara sitting on the porch steps, her knees scraped from a fall caused by the neighborhood bully. She looked so small that day. I stood beside her and said, "Next time, he gets through me first." She held my hand for hours after that. That memory came back now. Same posture, same silence, same fear. Except the danger wasn't a kid with a bike and an attitude. It was her husband. It took an hour, maybe 2, before she finally spoke. Her voice was thin, almost unfamiliar, like she was borrowing it from someone else. She told me everything. How it all started with criticism. Then shouting. Then the kind of apologies that feel rehearsed. And then, the bruises. Every word felt like a stone dropping inside my chest. She said she didn't know where else to go. That she saw her reflection in her car window before coming here, saw her own face and didn't recognize it. So she drove to the only place where she'd ever felt like herself. "You always knew how to fix things," she whispered, "but this wasn't something to fix. This was something that needed to end." The idea didn't hit like lightning. It came quiet, like it was something we'd always known how to do. Twins have advantages. Same face. Same build. Same eyes. Growing up, we used to fool teachers, cousins, even the occasional boyfriend. So when she asked, "What do I do now?" the answer settled inside me like it had been waiting. "We switch," I said softly. "Just for a day. Long enough for him to understand he doesn't get to hurt you anymore." It wasn't about revenge. It was about reclaiming the part of her he'd been slowly stealing. For a second, she looked unsure, and then, for the first time since she showed up, I saw something faint but unmistakable. Hope. The next morning, I put on her clothes, a soft cardigan, a light blue dress, and a necklace I'd given her years ago. I straightened my hair the way she used to when life still felt gentle. When I looked into the mirror, I saw her reflection. But I still felt like me, steady, grounded, unafraid. Driving to her house felt like entering a life that wasn't mine. Everything was too clean, too quiet. Even the air felt controlled. When he opened the door, the way he looked at me, at his wife, told me everything. There was no love. No concern. Just calculation. Like he was checking for cracks. That alone told me exactly who he was. Started the way abusers always do, with small digs, casual complaints, little ways to remind her she was beneath him. I let him talk. I watched him. I measured him, then I spoke, calm. Clear. Unshaking. "You will never touch her again." He froze, eyes narrowing, trying to understand the sudden steel in his wife's voice. When he stepped toward me, trying to intimidate, I didn't move back. I stepped forward. "If you ever raise your hand again, I will make sure everyone knows exactly what you've done. And they'll believe me." Strength doesn't always shout. Sometimes it's the quiet refusal to break. For the first time, he understood that the woman he tried to own wasn't afraid anymore. I left him standing in that doorway, speechless, startled, and unsure. Abusers hate uncertainty. And that's all he had left. When I walked through my apartment door again, Mara stood up so quickly she nearly tripped. Her hands were shaking. When she saw I was okay, really okay, her eyes filled with tears. It's done, I said. Not everything. But the part where he gets to decide your life? That ends today. We sat together in silence, the way we used to when the world felt too heavy. Two faces that looked the same. Two stories that had grown apart, meeting again at the point where one of them finally broke free, filed the police report. She got into a shelter first, then a small apartment with yellow walls. I helped her paint them. She said the color felt warm, like sunlight she hadn't felt on her skin in a long time. He didn't replay the events. Some stories don't need retelling. They just need closure. Watching her settle into her new space, I realized something. It wasn't the switch that saved her. It was the moment she knocked on my door, choosing herself. Maybe for the first time, and maybe that's the quiet truth behind healing. It's not loud. It's not dramatic, sometimes it's just the decision to start over, and keep walking.